What's up, guys? These videos, if you don't want anything spoiled for Skyrim, I do say spoilers. Like, I do have spoilers. Not so much for the main quest, but for the side quests. So if you don't mind spoilers, then you'll be good. But if you do mind spoilers, if you don't want to know anything about the game, then probably you shouldn't watch this, because I am going to go into detail in some of the side quests. I won't spoil the main quest though. So in other words, I won't be spoiling the main storyline. So I've been to a few cities so far, or cities, towns. The one that I really liked so far is Whiterun. That's like the second city that you go to if you follow the main quest. It's after Riverwood, I think it was called. I just like the way that it is, that it looks. I love that it's not too big. It's hard for you to get lost there. The first time you're kind of like, where is everything? But then you find your way around fast, and you find a lot of really cool people there. You find a lot of interesting people. One of those people are the companions, and they're a group of warriors that they're basically like swords for hire. People hire them to do things. But what I really like about them is that they don't really choose sides. They just do their job. Like, if you ask them, what side are you on in the war, they say, we're on no side. Like, we don't, like, it's kind of like they're saying, we don't support this idiot war. Like, they're not on either side. And I'm like, that's exactly how I feel. So I joined the companions, and they're all really cool. Some of them, at first, they're kind of scary. You're just like, whoa, this guy looks like he doesn't like me. Or and it's really easy to join the companions. Like, you just have to like fight this one guy, and that's it. One of the companions, but not even like a real fight, just like hit his shield, and then they're like, okay, you're a companion. After that, they tell you to do some quests. I haven't done many quests for them, and I kind of want to already, because I didn't know that until they actually this part is a pretty big spoiler, so I didn't know that some of the companions are werewolves. Before this, I had no idea. I didn't know when I was going to come into contact with werewolves, how you could become a werewolf, blah blah blah. So when I joined the companions, they give me this one quest. One of the guys goes with me on the quest, and we're in this like a tunnel, it was like a hideout or something like that. We're like sneaking around and looking, and then I go into this little room, and I think I pushed a lever or something, and a gate goes and it just closes me in there, and in this little room, and I'm just like, what the hell? And I look out, and the guy, the companion, the other guy, is outside, and he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll get you out. And he starts looking for something, and then a bunch of guys, like a bunch of bad guys, come, like a group of them, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, they're gonna kill him. They're all taking their weapons out, and I was like, dude, you gotta get me out of here. And they all take their weapons out to fight him, and he turns into a werewolf. And I was like, that was such an awesome moment. And he kills all the dudes like nothing, and then he opens the gate. He becomes himself again, and then he opens the gate, and he was like, sorry about that. And you ask him if they're gonna turn you into a werewolf, and he's like, no. They're only, some of them are only werewolves, not all of them. The ones that are, I think, are called the Circle. The main companions are werewolves. Like the leader, the head of the leader of the companions is also a werewolf. So I can't wait to do more quests for them, so that I could get more into that whole werewolf thing. I still don't know if I want to become a werewolf, but I'm thinking a lot about it, just because I know that it's kind of hard to like cure yourself from being a werewolf. In Oblivion, I really wanted to be a vampire. I wanted to be a vampire really bad. And now I don't. Like, I really don't want to be a vampire, just because my character, like, I can't see him as a vampire. I could kind of see him as a werewolf, but not as a vampire. And it was pretty funny, this one mission, I had to go to, I went to this little town. Oh, what was it called? Falkreath, I think. I think it was Falkreath. It's a little town, and there's someone there that's looking for a dog. And you're just like, all right, I'll keep my eye out. And when you leave Falkreath on the road, you go and you look for the dog and you find him, and the dog starts talking to you. It was pretty funny. Like, his voice sounds funny, and I was just like, what? It's kind of goofy, but the quest isn't. The quest is pretty serious. And he tells you to follow him and that he's going to take you to his master. And he wants you to help him and his master solve like a disagreement. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I go and he takes me into this cave. And I'm just like, oh, great. And I'm like going in there. And he went ahead of me, like way ahead of me. Because I got backtracked on the road and I had to kill some stuff, and then I had to like go back. Had to go on my own, but I was following my marker on my map, and it led to that cave. And I went into the cave, and this bad guy comes out, and I kill him. And when I killed him, it said vampire something, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, I'm in a vampire lair. That stupid dog led me into a vampire lair. I was so scared. I was like, oh my god. And I look at my active, what are they called? Active effects or something like that, like to see what effects you have on you. And it said that I had got this disease. I forgot what it said, that it lowered my health or something like that. And that it led to vampirism. And I was like, oh hell no. I was like, no. And I look in my inventory and I find that I had a potion to cure all diseases, and I was like, oh my god, and I used it and it got rid of it. So I was like, oh my god. And I had two more potions of those, and I was like, shoot. I really did not want to turn into a vampire. So I'm like going through this cave really slow, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so scared. And I killed a bunch of other vampires. I was on my own. I didn't have a follower or anything. I killed them. I killed them all, and I didn't get the disease again, luckily. So I find the dog, and he's standing like in front of a statue inside the cave. And I was like, okay. And I click on the statue, and it was a Daedra. His damn master was a Daedra. I was like, you brought me to a Daedra? I've encountered a few Daedra so far, and I don't want to make any deals with Daedras, just because I don't trust them. Some of them are considered evil, and they're tricksters, and they could curse you, and I was like, forget it. I'm not gonna deal with no Daedra, like, forget it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll talk to you guys. And I start talking to him, and he's like telling me to do this one thing, and I was like, dude, I'm not gonna do anything for you. He's like, kill this one guy. And I'm like, no. The quest is still I still have the quest. But I don't want to do anything for Daedras, just because I feel like they're gonna curse me or something like that. So I left that place, and now I'm just like, I feel like I don't want to do the quest, but I am still going to go to where that quest leads me to see if there's any other way to end the quest without me having to deal with the Daedra. There was another one with the Daedra I think this was in, what was that place called? This was in Markarth. You go into this one house, with this one monk, I think he was, and he's like, come on, I think people are worshiping Daedra in here. And I go in there with him because he's like, help me out, it would be nice to have an extra person with me. And I go in there with him, and it's this dark room, and I'm just like, and there's like dust everywhere, and it sounds really creepy in there. And he's like, come on, I hear something. And we're going in there deeper and deeper, and then you hear like a voice, a really scary voice, like a very like and things start like flying around, and like he's like throwing these baskets at you, and everything is just flying at you, and you're just like, oh my god. And basically they're just saying that you guys have to fight. So the guy's like, alright, it's me or you, and we start fighting, and I kill him, and I'm like, well, sorry, dude. And you get a bunch of stuff there, and I got all these things. And you could hear the voice, and he's just like, come and get your gift. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like going, and it was really, really creepy, but I was like, I have to see what this Daedra is going to do, right? So I go, and you go into this like little hole, you enter like this cave, and I'm just like, I was all creeped out, and then you find an altar, and I was like, oh my god, a Daedric altar, what? And I look at the altar, and you can actually click it. I guess it would give you a blessing, maybe, or a curse. I didn't click it because I didn't want to get anything from it. And it has a mace that you could get. I forgot the name of the Daedra, but you could get that mace, and you go for it. You go for the mace, and then this cage falls on you, and you're just like, I was like, oh my god. And the Daedra's talking to you, and he's like, it's not that easy. You thought I was going to give you blah blah blah. And he says he basically wants you to do something. He basically wants you to kill this one guy. And I was like, I'm not gonna help you. And I tell him that I didn't come there to help him. And he lets me go, and he's like, fine. So he lets me go, but he tells me what he tells me that this guy is captured and suffering anyways. So he's like, go save him, and then I'll do whatever I want to afterwards to him. So yeah, I was like, it was creepy, but I really liked that. That was really cool. I love how things all of a sudden happen like that.